Just how much difference does driver shaft weight actually make? Let's do it, and let's do it now. Hi everyone, James Robinson here guys. First things first, I would like to warmly welcome you all back to the channel. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel if you're not new to the channel. But guys, if you are new to this channel, please take 2 seconds and hit that subscribe button below. That way you won't miss any of the great golf related content I bring to you guys 365 days a year. Today I've got two Callaway Epic drivers, both exactly the same. Well, actually, I've got one Callaway Epic Speed driver and another different Callaway driver. But the shafts, as you can see, are pretty identical. They're both hazardous smoke shafts by Project X. They're both 6.0 degrees of stiffness. They're both mid-spin. One's 60 gram, one's 50 gram, and they have a slight difference in torsional stiffness as well because of that weight. So just how much difference does 10 grams in a driver shaft make? Because we all know that when we go and get fitted for new golf clubs, when we go and buy new golf clubs and we're choosing a driver shaft, that it's the fine margins that make all the difference. It's the finer detail that can make the difference between hitting the best drive of your life and not quite the best drive of your life. So I did a test not long ago on iron shaft stiffness. Should you use stiff? Should you use regular? Should you use extra stiff? Should you use a softer flex? And everyone got in the comments and said, James, that's brilliant. We really enjoyed this video. Thank you. And I was like, oh, cheers. I worked hard on that. But also a lot of people said, James, can you please do a video comparing driver shaft weight because we have no idea what potentially we should be using. And I said, yeah, of course I can. But also, guys, please do not take this video as word that a 50 gram shaft does this and a 60 gram shaft does this, because this test is only as good as my consistency levels today. And I have filmed a couple of videos today, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been swinging pretty good. That's probably the kiss of death. But you should still do this test for yourself. You should still go and get fitted and have a bit of fun testing different shafts before the season properly starts. Right, let's go a couple with the 60 gram to start. And that's a pretty decent opener. So guys, get in the comments below, what shaft would you expect to suit me the most? We are using today, as I've said, a Callaway Epic Speed driver, and we've got it set just on a standard 9 degree with standard face settings and pretty much standard everything. Will the big differences be in ball speed? Will the big differences be in distance? Will it be in dispersion? Will it be in spin? That one spun at 2.9, but remember, this is the heavier of the two shafts. And I would have loved to have done this with maybe a 70 gram and a 50 gram, but I just didn't have them. But then when we think about fine tuning, I'm quite interested to see the differences in 10 gram, because if there wasn't that big a difference, why bother making them both? Right, let's go again. It's another great drive. Very, very consistent. 2.9 spin, but that's a decent number at 2.75. So remember, I can't stress this enough, guys. Go and get fitted. Do not take my word for this. But I'm really interested to see how this goes. That was better. That was a lot better. So who here is also a shaftoid? Who is a shaft geek? Who loves the idea of getting an expensive shaft, of getting the perfect shaft for you, even if the head isn't quite up to scratch? Do you think that shaft makes all the difference? Or do you think that the driver head makes a difference and the shaft doesn't particularly do much? I know there's different arguments for different people. I'm staying well out of that. Staying well out of that. I'm just going to try and bust some drives out there about 280, hopefully. Oh, 281, there we go. Yes, please. And it's funny, you know, because sometimes the science isn't always the science. Because I found quite often that when you put a driver in someone's hands, particularly someone who's quite skillful, that isn't supposed to be for them, they're like, oh, actually, I can kind of manipulate my game towards this, and then I find that that's more consistent. So by going and doing this yourself, you might actually find a few swing changes that you didn't think you needed to do, that you probably don't need to do, but that might give you a more consistent golf game, which would just be fantastic, wouldn't it? Right, one more, then we're going to move into the 50 gram. Yeah, I've hit that good again. 5 decent shots there, to be fair. Let's move into the 50 gram. I've got no idea why I didn't take this shaft out of this other head before, but what's going to happen here? This is going to be interesting. Should I be able to move this lighter shaft faster? Should it create more speed? Will I lose the feel of the shaft and hit it all over the place? Because there's no point gaining a mile-an-hour ball speed if... Oh, not quite. Because there's no point gaining a mile-an-hour ball speed if they start going all over the place. That dispersion for me with the 60 gram shaft is pretty good. I know there'll be a lot of people saying that it's terrible, but it's not. So how much difference will there be in dispersion as well as the numbers? Because that's equally as important. Some people would argue it's more important. Right, how does it, doesn't feel, I know it's 10 gram difference obviously, but it doesn't feel that much different. Right, that's interesting. That's actually really good. It's gone a little bit higher, and I felt like it was going right, but I've actually rescued it with kind of the face a little bit. Not gonna lie, it does have me thinking, am I good enough to do this test? Am I good enough to see a difference? Well, I suppose we'll see, won't we? Will there be a proper difference, or will there just be a difference in my shots? I should say as well, to do this test scientifically and properly, we should be hitting thousands and thousands and thousands of golf shots. And I say this in every comparison video. I can't, but we'll do our best with 10 of each. Right. Not the best strike, that one. Down the middle again though, which is quite important. If dispersion's really, really, really good, would I sacrifice a couple of yards as well? That's always something which is quite an interesting point. No! No! I was just talking about down the middle as well. Oh, left! Right, come on, it's only one bad one. We don't mind that. We'll eradicate that from the memory. Especially when you hit that. That's the perfect drive. 280 yards and a sub 2000 spin, that's perfect. Right, we've forgotten about the bad one now. And actually, I'm not gonna lie, I can't really feel a difference. So much so I've just had to check that I did put the right shaft in, and I have. This is, as you can see, the 50 gram shaft, so the lighter one. One more, we're gonna go back into the 60, then back into the 50. I almost thought that I would nailed on be able to feel a difference straight away, even just in the practice swing, and I can't really. Another good one. Excellent. Right, we're going to get the wrench back out. The reason I'm doing this, hitting 5, then 5, then 5, then 5, is just to make it as fair as possible. I know that in the comments, if I hit 10, then 10, people will be saying you got tired towards the end or you weren't warmed up at the start. And that's a fair shout, because I probably will get tired at the end, and I was definitely warmed up at the start because we've batched filmed a few videos for you today. Right, make sure it's on the right settings as well. Who would like to see a video testing the whole range of the Callaway adjustments? That'd be quite cool, I think, wouldn't it? Right, 60 gram back in there. I thought 60 gram would initially be my favourite. Now I'm not overly sure. Like, I can't judge the 50 gram shaft just on one bad golf swing, and that's something which I have seen happen in fittings and in lessons. Oh no, I don't like that. That felt awful. It's like it was one swing. So yeah, I can't judge it that way. Also, guys, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. That doesn't feel right. I haven't put that on right. Where's that? How is that? That's where the align grip on the Callaway comes in really handy, because any other driver, I'd just have started hitting that, and it's not in the right place. Very good, Callaway. Just testing you. Just testing all of you to see if you'd have noticed. I need to concentrate more. Right, so it's NS. Back on it, James. Right, that's mega impressive. That's really, really, really good. How am I not... I need to work out what I'm going to game this year as well, because there's so many good drivers out. The Callaway, the Titleist, the TaylorMade, the Ping, the Mizuno. If you want to get involved in the comments, let me know what you're planning on gaming. Are you going to go for a fitting? What are you going to do? That was so good. 1825 spin, 285 total. Filth. Is it a shout? Is anyone there? For left? No, I think we're okay. It's not that bad. It's the worst one of the bunch, but it's a good bunch. Right, I'm going to stop talking for a bit. I heard a massive sigh of relief from all of you. I'm going to hit 3, then we'll catch up a bit while I change the shafts over, then 5 again with the 50, and we're going to talk performance. Performance is the key, I think, with a shaft. This is me shutting up. Performance is key, I think, with the shaft. With the driver head, there's the acoustics, there's the looks, there's the visuals. For me, a shaft can look however it wants to look. I don't really care. A vibrant colour would be nice, but generally shafts are all about performance, aren't they? Right, 3 quick ones. That is on the line. Yes. Oh, that has ruined it. That was a terrible swing. Oh, the dispersion was like not bad as well. Anyway, up and out of it a little bit there. Right, let's go back to 50 gram. I think this is going to be, you know, I think it's going to be really, really close, and I think that speaks volumes of how I particularly thought this test might go. 10 grams isn't a lot, is it? And I know the torsional stiffness changes a little bit, but the shaft length's the same, the shaft stiffness is the same, the club head's even exactly the same club head. And I think over the course of a season, you might, if you kept all your stats and everything, you might see some analytical benefits from a lighter or a heavier shaft. But even for 18 holes, would you see a huge difference? Apart from maybe the one that balloons up in spin just a touch, maybe that one on a windy day could potentially catch you out. Right, 5 with the 50 gram. See, that's the one I'm talking about. I hit that really good and the spin's at 3,000, so it's just not, I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, middle of the fairway, but it's just not quite as far as it could have been. These T-pegs are rubbish. I know this is me just having a whinge, but I think these Castle T-pegs could be the biggest golf con of the last century, because see how they've made them like a lot thinner, they've made them more brittle to break. They never used to break, ever. Both got in the bin there as well. Should say as well, guys, I'll probably put this earlier in the video, but I'm using today the Callaway Chrome Soft LSX golf ball, or XLS golf ball. We're doing a giveaway with these, so check that in the description below. You have to be a subscriber to the channel and just kind of follow on to that video. 4 more, and we're going to try and hit some hard ones like we did with the last batch of the 60 gram. That's turning a bit. The spin's still high as well, 2.9. I don't think we'll see a huge difference in distance. I think we'll see a big difference in potentially the spin on average for the 10. Yeah, like that one again, 2.9 spin again. So it's 2.69, but it wasn't a bad shot. Right, last shot of the whole test. And I've got to say that I have enjoyed this. I think just because I haven't felt a difference doesn't necessarily mean there won't be a difference. It's like, just because I can't see the wind doesn't mean it's not there. Unless there's loads of trees there, then you can see the wind and it's definitely there. But you know what I mean? I think it might be the fine tuning that, what I'm trying to say is I've swung it really consistently today and I'm really happy with that. So I'll just get it out there rather than sitting on the fence. Last shot, big high, bombing draw, 278 carry, 284 total. I nearly called it as well. It stayed out there on the right a bit, but 276, 281 with a 2,000 spin. That's 20 golf shots hit with a Hazardous Smoke MI10 60 gram shaft and a Hazardous Smoke MI10 50 gram shaft. How much difference is there for me? Let's take a look. So dispersion with the 50 gram shaft where we left off. I'm quite happy with that. I think there's a couple that's turned. That one was the only real bad one. Any of those, realistically, I'm going to take on the golf course because they're going to be there or thereabouts. We might have 1 in the right-hand rough, 2 in the left-hand rough, 1 out of bounds, and then 6 in the fairway, so quite happy with that. The 60 gram shaft, you can see was a little bit more consistent. I was turning it over a bit more. Probably felt because of the weight I could go after it just that touch more and have my natural shot shape. That was the last shot with them, which was, I think it's fair to call that an anomaly. But also if we look at the kind of trajectory and peak height, much more consistent with the 60 gram shaft, I think that's fair to say. What about the numbers? So numbers, as you would imagine, very, very, very similar and consistent. 273 carry with the 60 gram and 271 carry with the 50 gram and 278, 276 respectively. Clubhead speed was down on the 60 gram, which I did kind of predict because 50 gram obviously is lighter and I should be able to move it more, but ball speed was actually up with the 60 gram even though it was less clubhead speed, that's right. Spin 2,280 with the 60 gram and 2,497 with the 50 gram. So spin was up just as I anticipated as well. So for me there, I'm really, really happy with how that test gone, primarily because I've hit it half decent to be honest. And if I would have had one of my bad days, I have no doubt we wouldn't have been able to tell the difference there, but I have swung quite consistently, as you could probably tell from those numbers. Nothing shouts out at me there. Like, I think I would obviously be daft not to use the 60 gram shaft in this scenario because the numbers were just better and the ball flight was a little bit more consistent as well. So there's always that to think about. But realistically, would that make a difference between me making 4 and making 5 on a hole? I don't know, maybe over the course of a season, those extra 2 yards might lead into something a bit more. But like I said, over 18 holes, not sure I'd personally tell a difference. But if you are going to go and spend this much money on golf clubs, I highly recommend you make sure that you get the right ones. Not just the right club head, the right shaft, the right grip, the right everything. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. I found that really interesting. I hope you guys have too. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you do want to see some non-golf related videos as well, we've got some really cool stuff coming up on the Off Course channel, so I'll put that in the description, as well as the giveaway for the Callaway Chrome Soft LXS golf balls. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching once again, and I really look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye.